The dawn was still breaking, casting a faint glow over Willow Lake. When I saw Ida sign zip-tied to my dock's post, its red letters blaring, "No fishing violators will be fined," my coffee mug nearly slipped, threatening to plunge into the water. The Greystone Pines HOA seal mocked me like a cheap badge of authority. Barefoot on the damp wood, steam rising from my cup, I stood stunned. I, Ethan Morrow, owned this lake, every wave, every reed, every square foot of shore. I'd bought the property 5 years back, house, dock, and the private water behind it. The HOA's reach stopped at the street. They had no business here. My pulse raced hotter than the brew as I stormed back inside. Someone was going to pay for this. The mastermind was obvious. Vivian Cole's name was smeared across every HOA newsletter, every rule, every penalty. As president of the Greystone Pines HOA, she was a middle-aged control freak in tailored blazers, her smile as fake as her authority. Her house was 3 doors down, the one with the manicured lawn and creepy garden gnomes that seemed to judge you. That afternoon, I marched over, the sign's photo burning in my pocket. Vivian answered before I could knock, like she'd been lurking behind her curtains. "Ethan," she cooed, dripping with false charm. "Ready to play nice with the neighbors?" "Explain this," I said, flashing the photo, my tone sharp as a blade. She didn't flinch. "Fishing complaints have piled up. It disrupts the peace and harms the lake's ecosystem." "My lake," I snapped. "That's up for debate," she said, crossing her arms like she was about to lecture a toddler. Greystone Pines views the lake as a shared aesthetic asset. Check the bylaws, page 45. I swallowed a curse. "Try knocking before you trespass next time." I turned away, already scheming. That night, I dug into the original HOA agreement, no mention of the lake. My deed marked it as mine, clear as day. But Vivian's revised bylaws, stamped a month ago without a vote, claimed aesthetic oversight over my water. This wasn't about fist hit, was a power grab. By sunrise, I was done playing nice. I ordered a sign, bigger and bolder, bolted to a 12-foot pole at the lake's public path. "No swimming, no boating, no trespassing property of E. Morrow." Vivian saw it by noon. She charged up in her heels, face twisted like she'd swallowed a hornet. "You can't do this," she spat. I sipped my coffee, leaning against the pole. "My lake, my call." "You're being combative," she hissed. "No," I said, pointing to the sign. "I'm being crystal." Her eyes burned holes through me before she stomped off, muttering about an emergency board meeting. Bring it on. I'd wired cameras to the dock and had the original plat map on hand. She wanted a war over water? I was ready. A few days later, a letter appeared in my mailbox, no stamp, just HOA letterhead with a thinly veiled threat. It claimed the board had voted to reclassify my lake as a visual easement under some invented clause. If Vivian could sell the neighbors on it being shared, she might bully the county into siding with her. I needed more than signs. I called Lucas Hayes, a retired county zoning officer who owed me for helping restore his old Chevy. "Someone's trying to annex your lake?" He laughed through the phone. "That's bold." I told him about the fake bylaws and Vivian's overreach. "That's illegal twice over," he said. "Want me to take a look?" "Bring your badge," I replied. Lucas rolled up the next day, looking more like a weathered cowboy than a zoning guy, his jacket sporting a faded county patch. We circled the lake as he studied my plat map, confirming boundaries with a laser rangefinder. "Lake's yours, no contest," he said, snapping photos of the dock and my laminated deed. "They'd need your signature for any easement." "Then why's she pushing so hard?" I asked. He pointed to a lot across the water, half hidden by a tarp. "Vivian's been trying to sell that for over a year. Buyers ditch it when they realize they can't fish or boat because you own the water. She's passing it off as community property to inflate the price." The puzzle snapped together. That night, I wrote a letter on my attorney's letterhead, citing county codes and Lucas's affidavit. I posted it on the HOA bulletin board, laminated under a header, "Notice of Property Rights, Willow Lake." By morning, neighbors were at my door, confused. Vivian said the HOA owns the lake. One said, clutching a coffee cup. I showed him the deed. His eyes widened. "You've been paying taxes on it." "Every dime," I said. That afternoon, my notice was ripped up, scattered on the ground. Vivian stood nearby, pretending to sort her mail. I bagged the pieces, letting her see. No unauthorized notices on HOA property, she said coldly. You mean the board you run without votes? I shot back. County complaints going out tomorrow. Her heel scuffed the pavement. You'll regret this. I snapped a photo of the torn notice. We'll see. I filed the complaint with the county, backed by Lucas's evidence. I also reported Vivian to the state real estate board for her shady lot deal. 3 days later, the county shut down her easement claims, publicly declaring the lake private. Vivian's inbox exploded with neighbor questions. Then the real estate board called, asking for proof she owned the lot. I sent MLS listings, development papers, and an email where she called it her retirement plan. Soon, 2 investigators with state badges were at her door for an hour. The neighborhood buzzed. Neighbors crowded my driveway, asking real questions. How long has she been dodging votes? Can we boot her? I pointed to the HOA charter's removal clause, 2/3 vote. They gathered 47 signatures, 13 more than needed. Saturday's vote in the park was electric lawn chairs, coffee, a megaphone. Vivian tried to cancel it via email, but no one listened. When she arrived and saw the turnout, her face crumpled. The vote was unanimous. Vivian Cole was gone. She claimed it was invalid, but Lucas read the charter aloud, shutting her down. The crowd roared. James Tucker, a retired Navy vet, stepped up as interim president. At an emergency meeting, he trashed Vivian's fake bylaws, voiding all her fines. Then he dropped a bomb. Vivian had siphoned $18,000 to a fake Cole Property Services, funneled into her personal account. The room froze. It's with the prosecutor, James said. 4 board members slipped out, ashen. The HOA locked its accounts for an audit. Meanwhile, I waded into the lake, clearing algae from Vivian's rain. A nurse named Sarah stopped by with her mastiff, Duke. You're the sign guy, she said. My daughter missed her kayak party because of Vivian. I tossed debris into a wheelbarrow. Lake's open now. Kids were soon paddling, laughter ringing out. But Vivian's collapse didn't stop there. A detective called, and I handed over my evidence at the sheriff's office. Deputies raided Vivian's house, carting off her computer and files. She was nabbed days later at a private airstrip, hair dyed blonde, with $60,000 in cash and a burner phone. The charges stacked up: wire fraud, falsification, tax evasion, and more, totaling $100,000 in stolen funds. Neighbors, led by Sarah, filed a class action suit for illegal fines. The HOA held workshops, and I offered my lake for a picnic. Kids fished, adults grilled, and Duke splashed in the shallows. James nudged me. One guy saying no started this. I watched a kid land a base. Takes a few to see it through. Vivian's lot was seized by the county for unpaid taxes. Her social media went dark. Word was she was answering phones at a law firm out of state. The HOA now posted transparent budgets, and fines were rare. My sign stayed up not to divide, but to remind. Ownership was about standing up. Sarah's daughter caught her first fish that summer, Duke barking like it was a beast. The lake gleamed, and for once, I wasn't bracing for the next blow. We'd already sunk the worst of them.